Hello and welcome to my channel. In this video, I would like to share my experience on how you can run a MySQL database instance on Docker and connect a Java application using JDBC. Prior knowledge of existing technologies such as virtualization, Eclipse IDE is needed to follow this exercise. For those who are not familiar with these technologies, I recommend visiting the reference section below that points to various tutorials that I have written related to them. Here are the steps that we will do in this exercise. Number 1 is run a MySQL instance on Docker. Number 2, install MySQL Workbench. Number 3 is test the connection to MySQL instance. Number 4, check out a Git project that I have already prepared for this exercise. And finally, run the test. At this point, I assume that you have already installed Docker on your local machine. Again, you can check the video description for reference. Let's start by running a MySQL database instance on Docker. Open your terminal and type the following command. I will run this command on another computer. The process will take some time as it will download the MySQL Docker image in your local machine. I have already run this earlier, that's why it's way faster. With this command, we are instructing Docker to run a MySQL instance with password carry and create a default database named catalog that will be accessible by the port 3306. Make sure that you don't have MySQL installed and running on your local machine because the port will collide. If that is the case, make sure to change the P setting to 3307:3306. It means that we are forwarding our machine's local port 3307 to the Docker containers 3306 where MySQL is running. And then we will install the MySQL Workbench Community Edition to help us manage the MySQL instance. Again, link to MySQL Workbench Community Edition is available in the description box of this video. After installation, let's try accessing the database and create a user that we will use to connect from a Java application. Let's create an account, carry, and make her the owner of catalog database. So this is the MySQL Workbench IDE. And from here, we can go in the users and privileges menu. And here, we can create our user. Again, let's name her carry with the password carry. Of course, this is not secure, but this is for the purpose of this exercise only, so it should be fine. Hit apply, and we have our user correctly created. Now we need to assign the catalog database to the user carry in the schema privileges. So click the add entry button and selected schema to catalog and hit OK. And finally, apply. So the user carry is now the owner of the catalog database, or here it says a schema. Now for this exercise, I have already prepared a project that we can clone and is available from GitHub at this URL. Again, this URL will be available in the video description. This project is created using Maven. Inside this project, you will find an SQL file that we will use to create a schema in our database. So check it out using your favorite IDE. Personally, I prefer Eclipse, so that's why I check it out using Eclipse. The JDBC JPA code demonstration project. Now let's look for the schema file, which is 1-schema.sql. This is the entity that we will use to test JDBC commands. Now go back to MySQL workbench and execute .sql. This is the execute button. And let's check if the database is correctly created by going to the schema tab. So here we have the catalog, and inside it we should see the product table, which is this one. Let's go back to Eclipse and open the class JDBC template MySQL demo, and make sure that the URL value is pointing to where your MySQL instance is running. I have installed my MySQL instance on another machine, that's why I'm using a network IP. If you are running your instance on the same computer, then localhost would do. Here we are instantiating the driver class, which is added as a dependency in the pom.xml, which is this one. So you don't have to add that jar manually to your project because it's done and it's managed by Maven. Let's begin testing by running this class. Run and debug. Now let's check the logs. Select product from database, insert. Here we can see that the class successfully ran. Now let's check the SQL statements that we have executed. This is the test method that executes a series of SQL commands. First is the select. This is the select statement, where we query the fields of the product table. ID, code, amount, description, if you will remember, are fields of the product table as we define here in the create table SQL statement. And this is true for all the other statements. First, we need to create a statement from the connection which we open in the constructor, which is this one. Con driver connection get connection from the user that we have created, carry. So we have an instance of the connection, and from the connection we can create an statement, and from statement we can execute a query. In the select instance, we execute the select query, which returns a result set. From the result set, we iterate and get the fields that we are interested in. Get int for integer, string, double, and there are other data types as well, which you can use if you are working on Eclipse. You can use the IntelliSense to give you an idea what other fields are available, and we print them. So we can debug, or we can actually see that the test runs correctly and pull the correct data from the database. Next is the insert. Again, as I said earlier, we will always start with the create statement line. And from the statement, we execute an update. Execute update is used to either insert or update commands. So here is the insert into product. These are the fields and these are the values. And then if you will see, we execute a select again, an update, a select, a delete, and a select, because every SQL commands we issue the select statement so that we can debug that the content of the product table is actually being updated or modified. Insert, and this is the update, very similar to insert. It starts with the creation of the statement and execute update. The only difference is the update statement. And at the end of this line, don't forget, this is important, the where clause. Otherwise, if you don't specify the where clause, it will update all the records in your table, and that is really bad. So always remember that when you type update, you should always immediately add the where clause so you won't forget. And the delete statement, which is using a similar format like the insert and update. So here we create a statement and we execute the update. Now again, let's try running this class. And as I mentioned earlier, on every SQL CRUD command, we are issuing the select as well. So here, select product from database. We don't have any data yet. And then we insert data into the product, which is this record, iPhone 70,000 and 70,000. So we got this record, and then we update the record. And again, we got the same record, because I think we are printing the wrong 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's try printing get string 4 so that we will get the description. Here we can see that this is the first record that we have created, and then in the execute update, we have updated the description, which we can see in the second select statement, and finally the delete statement. So we delete, just like the update. When you issue the delete command, don't forget to add the where, otherwise it will delete all the contents of the table, which again is dangerous. And as we can see, the last select returns no result because we have deleted the only record that we have for that table. Let's take a break here. We will come back and discuss how we can execute this same queries without writing any SQL, and that is by using JPA. Help me keep this channel going by liking and sharing my videos and subscribing as well. So a quick pause and see you in the next video.